Salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for tuning in to this Sunday mock draft 1.0 version of Lions Talk Live. Prediction of the future, what's going to happen on the live. So I'm going to say this. We got the Sarge, Tony Libretto, joining us. Most of you, I'm guessing, probably know him. A real regular here, and we were thankful for him stopping in to help out with this. Sarge, what are you thinking about the draft so far?
Well, I haven't thought a lot about it because it's 4 months away, but I got some ideas. We're no longer a building team or a real rebuilding team, and I think we need to get a couple of maybe home run hitters here early in the draft. We need to get a couple of maybe home run hitters here early in the draft.
Okay. Now, Sarge, let's talk real quick. I get everybody gets it. The Lions have had a phenomenal season. It's at an end now. But now that you're looking forward, you're looking into the future of this team with this draft and obviously the offseason. Where do you think going into this draft the big needs are for the team?
Well, definitely corner. I think cornerback is probably the biggest need right now. Then you need another edge rusher, defensive line. Then you're looking at, I think we need to add a receiver. I'm not sure how many of those are sticking around, or, we definitely need some depth behind our top two. Right. And, the offensive line is going to be a big one. Who do we keep? Who do we lose? So those are probably the four key spots, I think.
Okay. So we're going to, just so you guys know, watching live, or if you watch this on replay, we're going to go through all 7 rounds. Here's how it's going to work. We're going to hit the simulator. We'll have it get going. When the Lions pop up, I'm going to move the comment section to as current as possible and just say, hey, what are you guys' thoughts here? Who do you see the picks here? Who do you guys like? We'll give everybody like 15, 20 seconds to put in their thoughts, and we'll try to do the best we can with figuring out what the majority wants at that pick. We're not going to make everybody happy. There's going to be tons of errors in this. This is the first time we're doing this in this format live. So, just know in advance, there'll probably be a few mess ups. So, all right, you guys see the screen. You know what's happening. So we're going to kick off. We'll select the Detroit Lions. We are setting it for 7 rounds, normal speed. And without further ado, Sarge, you ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right, here we go.
Let's piss people off.
All right, so you'll see the picks coming off the board as they're happening live. This is all computer simulation, so I'm not saying they're right, wrong, or indifferent. They just are what they are. And you see real quickly, we're moving through the first round. We're not going to talk about every team in the league. Again, just the Detroit Lions. Pick 29, quickly approaching. I can tell from all the people watching live that the anticipation is building. We've got a trade with Arizona, it looks like, with them and the Texans. All right, so everybody, here's our first option. Kind of choose your own fate. Green Bay Packers, of all teams, are offering us the 41st and 58th pick for our 29th. We also have additional offers, one from the Cleveland Browns. You see the offer right there. And it looks like we have one additional offer here, and that would be from the Las Vegas Raiders, offer the 44th and a 2025 second rounder for Detroit's first rounder. So what we're going to do is right here, you guys, if you have a say, or if you want to put it in the comment section, what do you want the Lions to do? Do you want them to accept one of these 3 trade scenarios, or do you want to just make a pick? I'm giving you guys 10 seconds to go ahead and put your thoughts in the comment section. If nobody comments, then I guess we just leave it up to the Sarge and I. All right, Rafty, reject. All right, we'll wait about another 10 seconds here. Reject. All right. Apparently nobody is wanting any of these 3 trade scenarios. No trade from Robert. Doug, make a pick. All right. So pick Phil. All right, Jason, 29th. Sounds like everybody wants us to not make the trade, so we're going to go ahead and reject. Now, Sarge, real quick, you see some of the top options here.
Yeah.
Should we go with any of these guys, or should we look specifically at an offense or defensive player?
Like, I see JJ McCarthy. I'm just kidding. Let's see. I can see well, there's some good players. So here's my take on the first pick.
Okay.
I think corners are harder to be good their rookie year.
Yep.
This might make a lot of people mad, but I'm hoping that we solve the corner issue in free agency. I know we kind of busted on that last year with Sutton being our number one guy. So, and I don't think we're keeping Jonah Jackson. I think he's gone. So I'd like to go with a guard at this spot. Strengthen unless there's a super stud edge still left over, edge rusher. But I think we go guard with this, and we solve the cornerbacks in the free agency. And I still want to draft corners later, not. I think for the first round, we really need to hit somebody that's going to start and perform for us, since we're, the hope is to get to the Super Bowl next year. So that's kind of my little theory about what's going to happen is we're not going to be able to keep Jonah Jackson, and we're going to need to solve. We need to, keep Goff healthy. He had a great year health wise. He didn't get hurt. He didn't get banged up. We're, one of like 5 teams maybe in the league that didn't have a backup starting for him. So, that's my take is we're going to go offensive line. And, I guess best available at this point, because I don't know a whole lot about, a lot about these players just yet.
Okay. So yeah, people in the comments section, you're watching. We won't overthink this, but
this Troy Fautano from Washington, I've heard big things about him.
Him and Jackson Powers.
Him and Jackson Powers both, yeah. So I would take either one of those players if it was me.
All right, so I'm going to move the comment section up to all the way to the first here. I'm going to just go from, all right, Brother Ken's comment here. So you guys see the screen. You see the big board. You see 21 through 35 as far as the rankings. I'm going to give you guys 15 seconds to put in your selection here from out of these particular players, who you'd like the Lions to go with. So from Brother Ken's comment, starting the countdown now. All right, we got the 1 pick, 2 pick. We're all, well, so far, no unanimous choice so far. All right. Johnson begins to emerge. Yeah, I think Johnson is emerging. O-line, or catch tomorrow episode. Okay, off. No, we should be online here, Rafi. Sorry, we should be on here. All right, number 11, Johnson. All right. So it sounds like, if I'm not mistaken, Johnson is the majority of the people's choice, the people's pick. So we're going to go ahead real quick. Let's pull up Johnson just in case you didn't know. Jackson Powers Johnson, 6'3", 220, the offensive center out of, or I should just say center, I guess, out of Oregon. You guys can read the comments below, maybe at your own time, or look them up online. But Sarge, he seems to be the favorite or the prominent center in the draft. Do you have any thoughts or comments before we make the official selection?
No, I think he's a good pick, and he can play guard. Obviously, a lot of the interior linemen seem to have the versatility to move from center to guard or guard to center. So I think that's a great pick.
Okay. And sorry, guys, if I said 220 pounds, it's 320 pounds. So, all right, let's go ahead and make the pick without further ado. And the Lions have addressed their offensive line with the first pick of the 2024 draft. We're going to move on into the second round now. We've got a little bit of time, about 30 picks until we're back up on the board. And let's just see what shakes out. You see a number of people going off the board here. See a trade with the Bengals, and can't tell who yet. Maybe it was the Saints, but let's see what presents itself to the Lions and the team here in the second round. And really quick coming up here. And there we go. All right, everybody, we've got a couple of trade scenarios. Detroit Lions, their 61st pick in 2025, 7th round pick for the Broncos, 81st pick, and a future 3rd. That's option A in the trade scenario. Option B, we give up this pick. We move down 2 spots and pick up a 2025 5th. Now, keep in mind, guys, we could counter these if we wanted to and try to maybe get a pick for this year versus next year. Sarge, you got any thoughts on these 2 different trade scenarios?
I don't think I would make either one of these trades right now.
All right, guys, in the comments section, do you want to go with either one of these trades, or do you want to reject them? I give you about take trade B, says Trump. Okay. Anybody else? All right. Be trading up. All right. Well, unfortunately, at this point, we can't trade up. Bergs reject. We need players now. No trades. No trade. Reject. No trades. Bit Lady says. Doug says reject. Phil says no trade. All right. We'll go ahead and then Dennis says reject. So we will reject both of these. Now let's go into what we have here. You see wide receiver. You see defensive tackle, offensive tackle, defensive tackle, running back, defensive tackle. Now, Sarge, I know you mentioned corner, and I know you mentioned edge rusher. Let's real quick take a peek. Any names here at the edge rusher position that jump out at you?
Let's see. I can only see the top 4. Because that you got the thing across the banner there. That I don't know much about these guys. Let's see. I mean, probably any of them would be all right. If people in the comments, let me know if you've already read up on some of these guys. But Penn State edge rushers always seem to be pretty good. So maybe the Penn State guy. But I would definitely go edge or corner here if there's a corner that's a big one that maybe that maybe didn't get through the made it past the first round or whatever. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, I would probably go edge or corner here.
Okay. Let's take it back to the big board here. Guys, in the comment section below, do you have anything that you want us to target for the Lions here? You've got 15 seconds to see the big board. If you want us to look specifically at a different position that we didn't highlight either with the edge or the corner, go ahead and let us know. But again, it'll be majority rules here. All right, we got let's see, edge. What corners are available? I'll go back to the corners for you there. All right, there's the top corners for you. Big O. DT here from 9 Drinks. Okay, we could go defensive tackle versus edge for sure. So let's real quick highlight. Here are the top defensive tackles. You got the 58th, 59th, and 61st, 63 ranked defensive tackles out there. So as far as value, Sarge, here we are. We're picking at 61. We seem to be getting good value if we were to go defensive tackle.
Right.
You got any thoughts on any of these guys?
Well, obviously, I saw a lot of Chris Jenkins this year from Michigan. He's got the pedigree, right? His dad actually also played in the NFL.
He did.
He's I've seen some mocks take that he goes in the first round. So maybe take him if we're going defensive tackle. The guy from Ohio State is also, I've seen him play a couple of times. He's a good one too. I mean, I think he's the big bodied guy. I mean, obviously they're all defensive tackles, so they all are.
Jackson's the one I know about because of I watched him play at Texas A&M, and just he's a massive guy.
Yeah. So I mean, defensive tackle might. That is, I did say defensive line at the beginning. That was edge, obviously edge and defensive tackle. I think McNeil had a great year, but he definitely still needs, we need rotational guys in there, so they don't have to play, all the snaps. Those big boys get tired fast. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I'd still go either edge or defensive tackle or corner. Let the group, make their decision, I guess.
All right.
I think I'd go corner if there was a. Can we look at the corners again?
Yeah. Here, let me pull the corners right back up here. All right, there you go. There's the top corners.
Man, I guess you're not really getting, if you're going by what they're ranked at, you're definitely not getting the value.
Not like you would for tackle, correct?
Yeah. So maybe go with the tackles.
Okay. So, all right, let's head on over. And guys, I'm going to give you about 10 seconds here to make your selections. I get some of you apparently, or some of you can see the screen. Some of you, at least Doug said he couldn't see the selection screen. Adapt and overcome, Chop Robinson. All right. You do it for me. There's a check out corners out. So tackle it would be okay. Anybody got a name for me to throw at? Otherwise, I guess we'll just all right, Jenkins. Yeah, I could see that with Jenkins. So all right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Can't see the screen, too small. Yeah, if you're on probably a cell phone or something, it's gonna be hard to read the screen, unfortunately. And I apologize for that, guy. There's no guys, there's no way for me to make the screen larger. Chop, all right, Chop. All right. Best defensive tackle taken. Screen shows 4 or 6 choices. Yeah, unfortunately, let's see. Don't think there's a way for me to get the. Let's see. There we go. I guess maybe if I could see if I can. There we go. Maybe that will help you guys out. I'll try to not highlight the comments anymore. Maybe that'll give you guys a little bit more view of the screen. Yeah, I'm on it, Robert G. So, I got it. Chop Hall Jr. Okay, we're all over the place. There's be a real consensus, unfortunately. All right, Sarge, I guess I'll let you have the go ahead with it. Who do you want to pick?
Oh, thanks. Let's take the. I'll go with the homer pick and take Chris Jenkins.
Chris Jenkins, it is then. I know that will make some people happy. All right, moving on. Our next pick isn't horribly far behind, so that's good. Now we're into round 3 here, and just a couple picks to go by. And again, guys, I get this is the first time we've done this, so there'll be some stuff for us to work on, obviously, to clean up for the future. But please bear with us, and sorry for the comments section blocking out part of the screen. All right, Sarge, we've got 2 trade scenarios that have unfolded in front of us. This pick to move down, a couple slots to 81 and pick 120, 121, I should say. And then there's also a second option, move down a few more slots and then get the Tampa Bay's second round pick. Wow, that seems like pretty good value there for a second round pick from Kansas City. You got to say on either one of these?
That one's kind of the getting a second rounder for next year is a pretty good return on value, I think. But let's see. Can we can't see what the big board is right now, can we?
Yep, and pull it up here. So as far as the big board,
see who else is out there right now?
Yep. So you got a couple defensive tackles still on the board here. They're ranked in the high 60s. You got a receiver. You got USC safety, Kalen Bullock. Let's see, another running back, linebacker, and then a wide receiver make up the top few selections still here on the board.
I mean, I might take that second trade offer and get a second round for next year, and we're only moving down what was it, 6 or 8 spots?
All right, so it seems like everybody's with you that that they want to take the second trade. So the second trade option, and just to be make sure I repeat this correctly, guys, that second round pick would not be from Kansas City; it'd be from Tampa Bay.
Right.
So just so you guys know, but man, that seems like pretty real good value.
Or I guess it's looks like it's 16 spots down, but still, you're still in the second, or I'm sorry, the third round. I'd take that for sure.
Okay, it seems like the majority of the comment section is saying, yeah, take the trade. So you know what? It makes sense to me. I mean, you're still getting the same amount of picks for this year's draft, but you're picking up Tampa Bay's second round pick next year. And who knows where they're going to finish, but we'll say it's probably later second round. Either way, though, that seems like pretty good return on value. Hookadoo, yeah, you're on your cell phone. Everything is way too small to read. Yeah, sorry, guys. There's just no way for me to make the screen bigger. Maybe I'll mess with it throughout the week before we do another mock draft and try to figure this out for you guys. But apologies for that. So, all right, let's go ahead and accept the trade. We're going to move back about 16 spots here and pick up Tampa Bay's second round pick next year. Go ahead and accepting the trade, moving on back. It'll be a couple seconds here until we're back on the board. So try not to sweat it out. You want to have a sip of Mountain Dew or whatever to get your morning going right, feel free to do so. And here we go. We'll be right back up here right about now. All right, and we have one trade offer. Sarge, can you see this one? We're going to give up pick 89 plus pick 162 to get New York's 107 and a 2025 third. Thoughts on this?
I don't think it's a good one.
Yeah. Guys in the comments section, let me know, but at least I'd be inclined to say, yeah, reject it.
Mm-hmm.
Give everybody about 5-8 seconds here, but see if anybody's got any thoughts here. No. Yeah. Okay. Let's just go ahead and reject this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, here on the big board, Sarge, you can see the top several selections. You got running back Bucky Irvin, Willie Shepard running back as well. Another four of them are running back. Braylon Allen, Roderick Estime, and then let's see, tight end from Ohio State, Stover, Fiske, defensive tackle from Florida State, and Roman Wilson, wide receiver from Michigan. Of course, we can always look at different positions here. If you want me to highlight a particular position, go ahead and let me know.
I did bring up wide receiver needs. I don't know if this is too early. I know we haven't taken a corner yet, but the way this is shaping out, maybe we got a couple of good ones in free agency. Hopefully, it'd be nice if we had Cam Sutton as our number 3 corner.
Sure.
So he doesn't have to, cover so many people. Hey, there's Mikey Sanders still. He was a wide receiver that turned into a defensive back at the University of Michigan. So, he wouldn't be a bad pick at all. But he's more, I want to say he's more of a Brian Branch type. So I don't know if he would fit with our our defense at the time being.
Sure.
Yeah, boy, I don't know. Can you do can you go to edge rushers?
Absolutely.
Just to see who else is left. I know there's probably some value in some of these guys.
Yep. So Jonah Ellis from Utah. You got from Troy Salmon, Thomas from Clemson, Zion from Washington, Makara from Colorado State, and Johnson from Ole Miss. At least those are the top 6, I guess it would be, on the board.
I saw that Tupuola Fatui, the from Washington in the national championship game, and they talked big about him all year long, or about how great a season he had. So I do have familiarity with him, but I definitely think, boy, I would say, maybe we go with a wide receiver at this spot.
Okay.
All right. A wide receiver or an edge guy, I would say. See what the crowd says.
All right. So Robert's all about Zion. All right. So guys in the comments section, Big Ol says Zion was pretty beastly. Roman Wilson has been great at the Senior Bowl. Berg's wide receiver. Matthew, no wide receiver. So, all right. Take the defensive. Ed says take the defensive end. So, I guess you guys, Tupa. Okay. I'll give you about 10 seconds here for everybody throw in some thoughts. We'll try to go majority rules. If it's too close, I guess we have to pick. Put the pressure on us. All right. Reject. All right. We'll take nobody.
Take nobody, apparently.
Mike, okay. Polar Bear wants the cornerback. Rafty sticking with his proposal of a rejection. All right. All right, Sarge, I put you in the bad spot, making you have to pick last time. So I guess I'll take the honors this time. I'm going to go ahead and go to the edge, and I'm going to take Zion. So I did like his performance. I think he's got a lot of measurables. I don't know enough about his personality to say if he's a type of person Dan Campbell would go by, but I'll say this, at this point, that's where I'm probably ending up going.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
No, I like it. I like it. They, they had a couple of, feel good stories about him and everything. I think he'd fit right in with Dan Campbell's style and fit right in with the team.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and take him off the board. Keep on moving through here. All right. So we have a trade offer, pick 92, as we knew we didn't have to go far. For the Giants, we moved down 15 slots, pick up their 2025 fifth round pick. Any thoughts on that, Tone?
Nah, I don't like it.
Guys, reject or go for it. Do you want us to accept the trade or reject? Give you about 10 seconds here. All right, Bergs, reject. All right. Reject. Ed, no way. Doug, reject. Jason, reject. All right, I get the idea. Nobody wants this, so we're just going to go ahead and reject it. All right, so Tone, as you mentioned, there's still a couple spots we haven't really addressed. The team's needs coming in, I think most people would say we're probably cornerback, offensive line, and edge. We've addressed two of them. Do you think we should maybe here start looking at some developmental corners? Your boy from Michigan is still on the board.
I mean, I wouldn't be upset if we took him, even though, like I said, he's kind of a Brian Branch type. Like he's he's definitely not a number one, but I don't, like I said, I'm hoping we got our number one in free agency. Sure. There's a lot of good corners that are going to be free agents, and if we could grab one or two of them, we won't have to worry so much about it. I'm trying not to sound like a homer and say just take Sanders still, but he's not a bad choice. He's he played a lot of football at Michigan. He knows how to win. Obviously, he's been their starter for 3 years. So experience wise, I don't know if he can be beat by these other guys, but I also know they like the big bodied corners with Aaron Glenn, and I don't think Sanders still is very big. I think he's under 6 feet. Can you pull up his stats?
Who's which player?
Sanders still.
Let me see if I can real quick. I know Jackson from Oregon. That's one I was kind of considering just because he's got size and some speed. He's like 6'2".
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. All right. So what do you want on the?
I just want to see his height, his size.
5'9".
5'9". So I don't know. I don't know if they like more of the taller guys at corner. Aaron Glenn does anyway. So maybe that Jackson that you're talking about, maybe he'd be a good pick.
All right. So guys, you've heard some of the Sarge's thoughts. You heard my thoughts on Jackson. I do think he's going to need time to develop, and you're getting him here in the latter part of the third round. Who would you guys want us to draft? I guess put it on the screen. Let us know your thoughts. You've heard my thoughts. But yeah, Jackson, to me, Kyrie Jackson is 6'2", 6'3", somewhere around there. Runs about a 4.45. So not not a blazer, but not slow by any means.
Right.
Need taller and faster, says Matthew. Jackson says boo. Let's see. Anybody else with any thoughts? The Michigan guy, okay, Ed. All right. We'll give you guys about 10 seconds. If you got some other thoughts, go ahead and let us know. But don't want to delay too long. Take Jackson. All right. We're gonna go ahead then, and we're gonna take, just so you guys can see his stats real quick. All right. I guess they don't have his stats up there yet, but he's a 6'3", 195 pounds. So he does seem to fit, as you were mentioning there, Sarge, a little bit of the mold for what Aaron Glenn wants in his cornerbacks, and somebody who can play man coverage. So we'll go and make the selection. He's off the board. He is a Detroit Lion at this point. So we'll see where we go next. We've got a while until the next pick, Sarge. Not till 162. So we're going to have to go through the fourth round before we're up again. At this point in the draft, Sarge, where do you think the Lions are looking to go to help this team out in 2024/5?
Obviously this late, they're going to start looking at depth pieces. Now would be a good time to grab a wide receiver that maybe can handle kick return duties. or punt return duties, things like that. I don't think you can ever have too many offensive linemen. And I know quite a few of our offensive linemen are free agents or restricted free agents. So maybe look at an offensive. I mean, I know we have Sorsdahl, excuse me. So hopefully he's going to take a big step forward. But we're losing a lot of offensive linemen this year, so maybe definitely take a look at that too.
Okay. I know some will talk about maybe a kicker, and not that that's not an option. All right, we're at the pick at 162. You guys see the board? You got Willie, tight end from TCU, Burton, wide receiver, Alabama, Jefferson, defensive tackle, LSU, Smith, safety from Georgia. Boy, I'm going to kill that last name. Obligalabi from Alabama, defensive tackle, McCaffrey, wide receiver from Rice, Davis, running back from Kentucky. Just for the sake of discussion, let's go ahead and look at the kicker situation. Probably not a bunch of names I really know. There's Michigan just seems to pop up on anything we look at. You got Turner from Michigan, Meaves from Missouri, Kroger from South Carolina. Tone, at this point, where do you think the Lions should be looking to address, in your opinion?
I would stick with probably a wide. Dang, it's early. I'd stick with a wide receiver. Someone that we can, maybe develop into that number 3 guy, like a Khalif Raymond style guy.
Yep.
Luke McCaffrey. That's Christian McCaffrey's little brother. So hey, maybe he could be the guy. Okay. But I think definitely receiver. Like I said, if there was a big old offensive lineman out there still, maybe take him. But I'd go with wide receiver at this spot.
Okay, guys in the comment section, you know the drill. Do you have anything in particular you want the Lions to look at as far as for this particular pick? We are getting to the latter part of the draft. Let's see. We've got Donkey Kong saying safety. Doug, too late to pick OL or offensive line. Robert,
we already took an offensive lineman earlier.
Yep, we did. Robert can't beat picks from Alabama. All right. Ed Oli, Mazui from Big Ol. Heck no on receivers. We need D. Bergs, wide receiver, need to be a big body for jump balls. Mm-hmm. Ed O-line, Zinter from Michigan. Let's see. We got quite a bit of stuff here. Burton, O tackle, offensive guard, offensive tackle. That's from Michael Robert Burton. Doug, as you can see, our scouts are what makes us great. You are correct there, Doug. I think 100%. We've talked about it on the show for a while now. I do believe the Detroit Lions scouting department is going to be picked apart, just because of that reason. Pick the best Campbell available, so we can see Dan Campbell self-conscious about pronouncing the name. Yep. We can see me mess that up, and I do that a great job with that. Doug Reed, I would have loved to trade back. Yeah. Bit Lady Burton. All right. And Dr. Detroit, trade all of them for a stud defensive end or stud defensive tackle and 2 stud cornerbacks and a great kicker we draft in the 4th round. Here you go. All right. Nothing wrong with that. So real quick, let's look at these. The big board, boy, but I think we're in a bit of a spot here. So here's what we've picked. So let's look at our picks so far. We've got Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon, the offensive lineman, interior offensive lineman center. Jenkins from Michigan, Zion from Washington, and Jackson from the cornerback from Oregon. Tone, what do you think we should target with this particular pick? Is it too early to go after a kicker?
Yeah, it's too early. How big is that that Burton from Alabama?
6 foot.
Not quite as big as I was hoping, but I'd try to find maybe a big-bodied wide receiver. We have a lot. St. Brown's not a giant, neither is Williams, so we might be missing that key red zone threat. So maybe if we can find a big-bodied receiver here, I think that would be all right.
So let's just go to wide receiver. And the next one on the board is Luke McCaffrey. He's 6'2".
Mhm.
I get that's not like 6'4" or Megatron or anything, but he's getting up there a little bit. I'm trying to think of anybody else who might be a potential height option who can play. And let's see, trying to see. Yeah, Smith is 5'10", so probably not ideal.
Mhm.
See, wide receiver, we got some comments here. Sorry, guys, trying to keep up with everything while researching too. Matt Millen, all right. Roman Wilson, wide receiver. All right, so no consensus from the YouTube channel, from everybody chiming in. So, all right, anything you see, or should we just make a pick here? Sarge, sorry.
Oh yeah. Let's take the McCaffrey dude.
All right. What say you guys in the comments section? No wide receiver McCaffrey. So, all right, split there. Jason says Luke. All right. So we got 2 for him. Go with McCaffrey. If he's half, of his brother. Yeah. Luke has the pedigree. He does. All right.
And their dad was a wide receiver.
Yeah, that is true. His dad was a wide receiver. Take McCaffrey. All right, Luke. All right. Sounds like the comments section has spoken. And the next pick will be Luke McCaffrey then. All right. He's off the board. We're back on track now. We've got a little bit of time, but not a ton of time until pick 206. That'll be the next pick in the round, and that's when lines will be back on the board. So we're plowing through the 5th round here. It's actually the mock draft's going faster than I thought it would be. I thought this would take a little bit more time and be a little bit more effort, but hey, maybe it's just because great comment section, great co-host, everything's making it look easy. So, all right, into the 190s now. So coming up here real quick on the next pick, we've addressed, I think, a lot of the team's needs or desires, for parts to pick up via the draft. We'll see where we go next here. All right. Next pick is coming up here right about now. And there are no trade offers. On the big board, you can see we got a tight end, running back, defensive tackle, linebacker. Tight end, a couple tight ends, and then a safety. Sarge, at this point, we're probably drafting more positional pieces, backup pieces, depth pieces. Where do you think the Lions need to target here based on what we've drafted so far?
I think we've kind of covered everything that, as far as needs or whatever. I want to say maybe take the best player available, or, in these later rounds, you're looking at maybe some special teams guys, maybe a linebacker, or maybe another defensive back somewhere's in there, someone that you might need for special teams. I see a few tight ends on the best available, but I think we've got our starter, and Mitchell will be back next year. I think Brock Wright and the guy that got hurt at the beginning of the year, I think they're both free agents, or at least like restricted or whatever.
Right.
So I don't know if they'll be back or not. So we might need another tight end. So maybe that's not a bad spot to go to. Yeah, I don't know. It's, obviously this late in the draft, it's difficult to make those decisions, but tight end wouldn't be so bad, but I'd say linebacker or defensive back is where we should probably look right now.
Okay. So I get everybody in the comment sections, has different thoughts. Some are saying big running back, kicker obviously is now maybe in play a little bit more. Going with athleticism with size and speed, says Booth. So yeah, just different ideas. I don't think there's really a right or wrong idea here. Let's real quick though look over at the kickers, and yeah, they haven't really moved. McCarty or whatever from Stanford is still the top rated one. Eduardo from Alabama, Meaves from Missouri, Turner from Michigan, Kel from TCU. So anybody out there that you would say jumps out at you there, Sarge, for a kicker in the 6th round?
I mean, if none of the other players look enticing, it wouldn't be so bad to take a kicker right now. But I think if we held off, do we have a 7th round pick?
I believe we do. Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say, hold off to the next pick, and then we don't have a pick. That would be pretty bad. But so we have one more pick after this.
Yeah, we've got 2 picks left.
Okay.
So we got 206 and 246. We did acquire for next year a Tampa Bay second round pick.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, a kicker wouldn't be so bad if we're not sold on Badgley. So maybe, take a kicker, or like I said, take another defensive back.
Okay, so Polar Bear says McCarty, he kicked a 61-yard field goal. That's not bad. We got a kicker with some leg. So let's pull up Joshua here and see if I can get any real quick stats on him. All right. Sorry guys, I'm trying to go as fast as I can here. All right, picking him up here. 100% on extra points and made over 85% of his field goals. So I'd say not too bad. In 2022, he made 100% of his field goals. So that's a pretty good 2-year track window. All right, guys, I guess let's just ask you in the comments section, do you guys want to go with a kicker or no? A couple of you guys say Turner, big leg, 50 plus. All right. Anybody else? Turner, we'll take him. I think I trade the 7th for Riley Reef. All right, fair enough. Boo, Turner. Sounds like kicker, 61-yard, take him, kicker. All right. So, all right, it sounds like everybody's on board with a kicker. So just make sure I'm on the same page. What kicker do you want to take, Turner or Taylor?
A lot of people are saying Turner, but
Turner?
It looks like everyone's saying Turner, so maybe another Michigan guy.
Turner it is then. I'm not going to fight the people. We're here for the people. So all right, the pick will be James Turner out of Michigan. We'll go ahead and take him, and he has been selected. Fair enough. All right, there's going to be 1 pick left. What do you guys think? We've got 1 selection left. Chances are this person is more than likely just going to be a depth person unless you really just hit something with the scouting department, find that diamond in the rough. Tone, you got any positions of particular need for the Lions to add some depth to?
I would say defensive back. Corner or
back,
safety.
All right, you go with defensive back. I'm going to go with running back. In the comments section, where do you guys want us to go? Ed says quarterback. All right. Bergs, cornerback, depth. Ed, quarterback. All right. Ed is letting his thoughts be known. What do you guys want? You want a running back, cornerback, wide receiver, water boy? I mean, just throw it in the comment section. Any decent cornerbacks left? All right, let's take a. To be fair, let's take a peek because I can't answer that off the top of my noggin. All right, let's see. You got Bradley, Armstrong, Richard, Mosetti, Plummel, and Harrison are the top, at least featured quarterbacks remaining. To answer your question there, James. DB, who doesn't play special teams. All right, Trump, cornerback, defensive end. Quarterbacks is Walter, defensive end. A Purdy, yes, that would be a pretty good pick if we could find another one. How about another mascot? Very good. Thank you, Dan and Sarge, for this draft. It was pretty cool. I had no problem, Bergs. Hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, Polar Bear, running back or safety. Boo, Bobby Boucher. Yes, who would not want the water boy going after the other team's quarterback? All right, so let's just go to the big board real quick, Sarge. We got Whittington, wide receiver from Texas. Mitchell, linebacker, UConn. Bradley, quarterback from South Alabama. Reimer from Nebraska. Murphy, UCLA. Boy, I can't talk this morning. And then you see the rest of the board there.
Yeah.
Anybody that jumps out or any position, what say you?
Yeah, we talked about special teams in these later rounds, and you've got a couple of linebackers there. The safety from Alabama, or is it Alabama or Arkansas? Any of those would probably be all right. You've got a running back on that list there for you. So yeah, I would take someone that's going to be able to perform on, for special teams, especially.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking whoever you pick here, along with some other people, they're probably going to be depth pieces who are also, yes, used on special teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only problem I have with the Ali, the running back on that board, is he did rupture his bicep tendon. I mean, I get that's going to heal before the draft, but we have a bit of a history drafting injured people, and I'm always a little skeptical of continuing that trend, but obviously we're not Brad Holmes, so all right, so we'll throw it at the comment section. What position do you guys want us to go after? We'll give you guys about 10 seconds here to respond. If there's a particular position you guys want us to target for the final pick of this mock draft. If only I could play some Jeopardy theme music here. All right, defensive end, says Walter. Need a quarterback, no guaranteed backup. All right, fair enough. Linebacker, tough enough for special teams. Defensive end, okay. Corner, tallest, fastest hands. All right, so it doesn't really seem to be any kind of consensus. So, all right, I guess I'll just Sarge. You want to make a pick, or you want me to make the pick?
You can go for this one.
What area?
Sorry? Go defense.
Defense it is. All right, let's take it down to edge, linebacker, or how about cornerback? Well, I guess how about edge, linebacker, cornerback, or safety? Because I do believe we'll need some depth at safety. Any of those sound good?
I would say pull up the safeties. Yeah, sure. Oh, there they are. I mean, you got, are any of those some big bodies?
Let's see what we got here. Coming soon. Well, I don't know how much longer TBD. They want to wait on some of these.
Yeah.
They're 6 foot. Yeah, that's probably the problem. At this point in the draft, we're all speculating because, to be fair, none of us really know the majority of these guys. What we can say is Jackson Mitchell, according to their grades, is 226, and you'd be getting him at a 246 value. So,
yeah, there you go.
And he's 6'2",
so 225.
All right. What I'll say, what do you guys say in the comment section? Are you okay with Mitchell, Jackson Mitchell, out of for a linebacker to add depth? I'll give you guys about 10 seconds. All right. Boo says, yeah, go ahead with Mitchell. Anybody else? Survey says.
And our special teamer linebacker Pittman is also a free agent this year. So,
all right, we're going to go ahead and take Mitchell then. So we're going to take Boo's advice there. Take him. And that is going to conclude the draft for the Detroit Lions this year. Now, just go some real quick results here. All right, pull it up here on the screen as best I can. There we go. That should make it a little bit bigger. So Jackson Powers Johnson, offensive lineman, interior offensive lineman. He'll add, I think, a little bit of need for us, especially keeping his strength strong. Sarge, we got your boy Jenkins from Michigan, the interior defensive line. Then we went edge with Zion from Washington. Kyrie Jackson, cornerback from Oregon. I think he does have a lot of good upside. Same with your pick here with McCaffrey. Again, you got size, you got upside. You've got probably somebody who needs more development, but does appear to have a lot of the raw physical traits, the uncoachable things, and he does have the pedigree coming from that family. Now you got a big leg kicker with Turner from Michigan. And if you can kick it outdoors from 61, you should be able to hit it from indoors, I'm guessing from a pretty good length as well.
Oh, yeah.
And then lastly, we did pick up Mitchell, big linebacker from UConn. While doing all this, we did acquire an additional second-round pick from Tampa Bay in 2025. Sarge, any closing thoughts on this first 1.0 mock draft?
Hey, not bad for not looking at too many, not being able to pull up too many stats or anything like that. But I mean, if this was how it shook out, I wouldn't be disappointed. Right now we really, I hate to be like I'm not sure what the right word is, but we really only need a couple of these guys to perform in year one at this point. Our team is good. We're not rebuilding where we need to hit on 5 or 6 draft picks. So if our top couple of guys, top 2 or 3 draft picks play or start, I think it's a win. no matter who it would be. So this draft is a pretty good start, I think, for version number 1. It's going to be nothing like this by version 3 or 4 or 5, but I think it's a pretty solid draft, a pretty solid first draft for February 4th.
And, I know the big question looking in the comments section, a lot of people are asking about thoughts about free agent targets, things of that sort.
Yeah.
And obviously, whatever the Lions do in free agency is going to change their needs come the draft. But I think most of us would agree that the Lions don't have a ton of needs, but they do have some specific needs going into this offseason. We're all going to talk about edge rusher. We're going to talk about corner, probably going to talk about a little bit of O-line depth, and then maybe a better option at kicker for the team. So this draft, like you alluded to, seems to hit a lot of those spots. But let me ask you, Sarge, if you had to go into free agency before the draft and target something specifically, what would you go ahead and do?
I'd throw a whole lot of money at a number 1 corner, maybe 2. I would like to see. I mean, maybe Sutton is better as a number 2 guy, but we need a super stud cornerback that can shut down the other team's number 1 guy. Too many times, especially down the stretch, Sutton just got blown up by Jefferson twice from the Vikings. Puka in the playoffs, Mike Evans in the playoffs, CeeDee Lamb with Dallas. I mean, those guys were putting up 200 yards a game almost by themselves. And we can't have that anymore. We can't let teams stay close to us. Our offense does what they can. We have a great offense, and the defense just needs to start shutting people down.
Right. Well, all right. Guys, I want to thank you all for joining us on this one. It went, I think, better than I would have anticipated coming into this. We're just kind of just doing this off the cuff or whatever you want to say, just doing this and on the fly. But it seems like the Lions don't have a lot of big needs, but the needs they really have to address, they do need to go after it in free agency in the draft. All right, everybody, you know the drill. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push to get to 5,800. I want to say we're about 30 subs away, somewhere in that range. So if you are new to the channel and you enjoy it, consider subscribing. If you enjoyed the video in the first mock draft, don't be afraid to hit the thumbs up button. Other than that, I will say all of this to you guys. If there's breaking news later today, I'll try to get on the mic as soon as possible. Other than that, we'll see you on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.